my name is Dara Haydarpour, and my project is on the problems, solutions, and actions towards the financial burden of cancer. My first steps towards my methodology was creating an IRB. The IRB served the purpose to ask sensitive questions to surviving cancer patients. These questions included stuff about the treatment, the financial burden, the experiences, and the recovery of cancer. These questions were put into an appendix, which, since the IRB did not get approved, was then used for the outside research. I used my outside research by basing my questions that I searched up in databases off of my appendix. I then took the data that I found from these databases, such as JSTOR or EBSCO, and used them to find conclusions. I found these conclusions through annotations and synthesizing the data. The three main conclusions I found out were the biggest problems of financial burden of cancer. The second were the solutions for the problems of financial burden of cancer. And third was how you could help in the community to solve these problems. The three biggest problems for financial burden of cancer are, first, the high prices of drugs. Pharmaceutical drugs are extremely high priced and are also unregulated in the US. As you can see from this graph, the US has an average monthly cost of $8,600 for the 8 most used pharmaceutical drugs in cancer. All these other 6 countries, such as India, China, South Africa, UK, and Australia, and Israel, all hover around $2,500 a month. The second problem is insurance. Many people are not educated on the importance of insurance and never end up getting it. This leads to, when they do get sick, not being able to pay off the high prices of these pharmaceutical drugs. Many organizations such as NeedyMed help those, but it's still not enough. People who already get this sickness are denied insurance, or people who have family histories, who smoke or are obese, have a much higher premium than people who are healthy or do not have these family histories that they cannot control. The third problem is women being trapped in unhealthy relationships. The abusive partners can be extremely detrimental to people, especially if they are dealing with cancer already. Women are trapped in these financial relationships because the third problem is women who are trapped in these horrid relationships. The third problem is women who are trapped in these unhealthy relationships. Unhealthy relationships, especially while having cancer, can be extremely detrimental to a patient. I then came up with solutions for these problems. My first solution for the high price of drugs would be a revolution, a protest, to make regulations for these drugs. However, that takes a ton of work and a ton of manpower. The other solution would be helping your community locally by taking people who you know have cancer or are struggling financially and helping them with chores, bills, or work. Then the second problem was the high price of insurance. You can donate to many of these organizations, either in the local area or in the national area, which help elderly patients or people who just cannot afford insurance to get insurance. You can also donate to like Medicaid, which gives public insurance to many Americans. The next would be helping women out of unhealthy relationships. This would be through education, having a panel in like a college to teach women how to get out of an unhealthy relationship, how it's important, and how it's more important to get out of the unhealthy relationship